Are you ready?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six. That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
This is the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast, Aftermath Summerslam post show. And wow, we got some things to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Results aren't surprising, but the way everything went down, I cannot wait to get to it. And we're going to move along as quick as we can to talk about that main event. Tommy, welcome back. It's been a couple weeks. Glad to have you on tonight.
Dude, it really has, man.
It was a good SummerSlam. Those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. Be sure to share this with your friends, tweet it out. Let's get people in on the conversation. We want to hear what you guys have to think about tonight's WWE SummerSlam.
Yes.
2022 in the books. Wow. Okay. But how you doing, Tommy? How's everything going?
Dude, you know what? It's good to be back. You know, you're right there, David Smith. Rep the Hook Bros. I know I actually have been talking.
Acknowledge us, Dave. Acknowledge us.
I've been talking with David a good bit, and you know, like I told him I was growing my hair out for the Hook Bros kind of joint, but I shaved a little bit. But man, it is good to be back, dude. I mean, Let's just put it out there, dude. I think this was the first pay-per-view that I've seen in a good bit that kind of just felt different. Like there was a different vibe.
There was definitely a different, subtly different vibe for sure.
Everyone knows that you're from New York. I'm from Indiana. So, you know, being close to Nashville, I mean, this is probably the closest SummerSlam's been to me since SummerSlam was actually here in 2008 at, you know, SummerSlam 2008 with Undertaker and Edge in the Hell in a Cell match. But man, this was there's just a different vibe going through this show, and I was really looking forward to it. You know, I sat down, got everything going, and it's just good to be back, man. It's good to be. It feels like, you know, I keep kind of harping on it every time I'm on here and everything, but wrestling's in a different state right now. And I definitely think now, especially with, you know, the news of Vince retiring and obviously, you know, Triple H taking over creative and everything, like this is a different kind of vibe going through. So I'm excited, man, to go through this show. Cause I was very much sports entertained, as they'd say.
Absolutely. To those of you guys that are watching, and if you watched tonight, make sure you drop some comments, send a like to the video. We want to hear what you think about the pay-per-view. We don't want to do all the talking here. We want to hear about your thoughts and what you thought about the pay-per-view. So feel free to drop those comments. We'll be sure to address each and every single one of them. Let us get started. So WWE SummerSlam, we predicted last night, me and Joe were talking. I was thinking that since Triple H is now in charge of creative, that this was going to start off with the tag title match, to be honest. But it started with the Raw Women's title, and boy, we got good match. The match started a little sloppy, but then as the match started going on, it started cleaning up, and I thought we got a very good match with a very, very surprise ending. Not the surprise of that we predicted Bianca Belair winning. Out of the two women's title matches, I thought that there was a higher chance of Bianca losing, but we didn't really have her to predicted to lose. But the big surprise here was that, Bianca beats Becky Lynch with the KOD. Good ending there. But then the show of respect with Becky holding out her hands to Bianca, and then we see them handshake. Pretty much what was looking like a face turn. And then, Tommy, would you like to pick up from where I just left off now and let us know what happened?
Man. I mean, it's great to finally, you know, kind of get that, you know, coming off of last SummerSlam, we saw Bianca and Becky at the 26-minute match. You know, nothing special. This match was really good. I think it was a great tone setter for the kind of entire show. Like you said, Bianca gets the KOD, kiss of death, takes the win. She gets, she retains her title. And then we see Bayley come out. And this is kind of something that everybody's been going for. Bayley has been out for over a year. It's great. And then comes Dakota Kai, who has been,
that was a surprise.
That was a very big surprise. Who has, even as Corey Graves mentioned, she has been, away from WWE, not under WWE contract at the time of, the show starting. Obviously, things are different now.
Yeah.
And then Io Sky. I know they changed her name from Io Shirai, but my goodness.
The graphics even said Io Shirai.
They did say Io Shirai, but I did
see Corey's
WWE
saying Io Sky.
It sounded like a botch. It did sound like a botch.
It did. There was a disconnect there for sure.
But from what WWE tweeted, it seems like it is Io Sky. But man, I mean, you could kind of, I think if you needed that kind of, okay, this is a totally different WWE. We're getting into the Triple H NXT kind of blended with the WWE and everything. I think it's perfect. This is a completely new stable that I don't think, one, anybody predicted. And two, this is a very kind of contrasting styles here. I think Dakota Kai kind of is that, hard nosed, she obviously relied on what's her name? I'm forgetting her name. Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel, yeah. Yes. Yeah, she obviously relied on her during her NXT, kind of.
I thought Raquel was gonna come out, by the way.
I did as well. Yeah. Obviously, it's great to see Bayley come back, one of the original 4 horsewomen. She's one of the best women on the roster. I think it's such a boost to that women's roster having her back. And then, I mean, Io Sky, she's obviously just such a different wrestler in the fact that she's, takes to the sky and everything. She's a very, very good high flyer and everything. This is great. I honestly cannot say too much about it. I'm intrigued. It seems like maybe at Clash at the Castle we'll get a 3-on-3 match. Who that third person would be for Becky and Bianca would be interesting. Maybe that's another surprise return. But dude, I'm telling you, this was if you needed that kind of shock moment to kind of start your SummerSlam off, but also just kind of reiterate the fact that this is a different WWE from what we've been seeing for the last 25 years. I mean, this was it. This was perfect, dude. I love the introduction of both of them coming back. I think that the stable as those 3 would be perfect. So I'm all for it, man. I really am excited to see what this goes with. But it's great to have Bayley back. She's been gone for a year and it's been sorely missed. So great to have her back.
Yeah, it's about time. It's absolutely about time that we got Bayley back. We'll see what she's got in the ring. It's been well over a year now, and to see Dakota and now Io Sky on the main roster, it's good to see a fresh face there. Loved what they did. The match itself, the Raw Women's Title match was given a really good amount of time. It went 20 minutes. Great spot with the Spanish Fly. Becky did. That was a great spot there.
I'm sorry. I saw a comment from David, and I just have to put that out there. Yes, sir. 19 games out of first place for the Red Sox. I'm wearing my Rays shirt. Throws back. I know, obviously, everybody knows this. I'm sorry, Wayne. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Obviously, everyone knows, Wayne's a Red Sox fan. I'm a Rays fan. We're both in the same division. So, that fun interaction that we have there. But, Wayne, I'm so sorry for your team.
Did the Red Sox lose again today? I haven't even looked.
I actually do believe they did.
I've been busy working. I had I was getting a barbecue ready. We had celebrating SummerSlam. Had some burgers on the grill. And
I actually broke my rule.
I did not look at the phone once today.
I broke my rule and I bet on a AL East team. I will never bet for another team in our division. And they did win. They did lose. They lost to Milwaukee like 9-4, I think. So So thanks for losing me $5, Red Sox. You know, it's
Red Sox
what you do.
lost 9-4 to the Milwaukee Brewers.
David, I'm thankful for you pointing that out. You know, I'm rocking the Rays baseball. We're still hanging around, so you know, gotta enjoy it here.
I'm rocking Nevada from the Nevada trip.
But no, man, I
got the Red Sox hat on.
I fully agree with you. I think this match was a perfect tone setter for the entire night. And I mean, that's the kind of thing. It's, you know, some pay-per-views we've noticed over the years, and this is just, I'm not pointing out a specific show or anything. Let's just go back, since this is the first TV 14 pay-per-view in 14 years. We've seen a lot of bad openers.
Was this TV 14?
That was the official rating. That was the official pay-per-view rating.
All right.
So it's the first time since I want to say maybe One Night Stand 2008, maybe SummerSlam 08. Don't correct me on that. But I do know for sure One Night Stand 2008 was a TV 14 pay-per-view. But this was just this was kind of the match that I think you needed to start, and obviously with, you know, the rest of the card pointing out and everything, but also the rest of this match. I think that this was the perfect. It just felt good. It felt different immediately. I know friend of the show, Frank Manzo, me and him were interacting on Twitter. This is just it was a good start. It was a really fun and intriguing way to kind of set the tone of, all right, Vince is gone. Triple H is head of creative. Stephanie's CEO, co-CEO with Nick Khan. This is different. So I appreciate it a lot, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's great. Moving on, because we got a bit to talk to. I want to get to the main event as quick as possible. But Logan Paul versus Miz, this match went on for about 12 minutes or so. Man, Logan Paul tore the house down tonight. I must say.
Yeah, man.
The Miz and Logan Paul, I mean, obviously they were probably training together this whole time so that this match would go over well. But we see Logan Paul win with Miz's own move, the skull crushing finale, because Maurice was on the ropes, wouldn't get down. And then Miz was about to hit Logan. Logan gets out of the way. With that graded Miz card, that Polaroid that Miz was carrying around, and Miz almost hit Maurice, and then we see Logan Paul with the win. But Logan Paul worked very well in the ring. What didn't seem too green to me, I mean, a little bit, but he was moving very well. I enjoyed what he was doing tonight. It much better than WrestleMania for sure, a little more fluid. And what were your thoughts on this? I enjoyed watching Logan Paul tonight.
You know, honestly, man, I fully agree with you. I think the callback to the WrestleMania, you know, with Logan Paul wearing the Pokemon card, obviously with Miz wearing the skull crushing finale card of him on WrestleMania, I think that was perfect. But man, it is really getting hard to kind of judge these celebrity matches because they just seem to be getting so much better every time. I mean, you know, going back to Bad Bunny at WrestleMania last year, or was that WrestleMania 36? I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal. You have obviously Pat McAfee kind of showing out. We'll get into his match a little later. Stephen Amell doing Ring of Honor a few years ago. But Logan Paul, man, I tell you, he's really
he's talented in his young career.
Correct. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I know that they kind of took the chance on him and being the next guy, but not the next guy, but signing him to a pretty lucrative deal in the sense that he could, you know, have a pretty fruitful career. 2 for 2, man. I mean, that's a pretty good track record, especially when it's WrestleMania and SummerSlam. So I thought this match was good. That frog splash, and let me talk to you. I tweeted it out, and Frank Manzo tweeted out
onto the table.
That might be one of the best frog splashes I've seen in a long time. That was perfectly executed, and that is saying a lot. Again, we know that it's a celebrity and all that, but my goodness, did he hit that like it was picturesque. The camera cut was perfect too.
When they showed the replay in a wide cam, that looked perfect.
It was great. And that's the thing is like sometimes you're gonna get, obviously he's had an athletic background, him and Jake. Obviously Jake's, fighting in the UFC and everything. But they're pretty athletic guys. But when you can put on a show like that and kind of get the crowd going with you, again, I said it, he's 2 for 2. I'm not the biggest fan of the Paul brothers, but I will say from a wrestling standpoint, he showed up. And again, that's also a credit to Miz. I mean, Miz is having, I truly do think that he's one of the more underrated guys on the roster, just from the fact that he's had so many, matches with Damian Priest at Extreme Rules, with the House of the Army of the Dead thing, with the
oh my God, don't even get me started.
Well, no, but I'm just saying
that was horrible.
It was, but from a match standpoint, but also with Bad Bunny, with Jake Paul or Logan Paul here, I definitely think that it's a testament to his work in the ring, but it's also a testament to what Logan Paul did. So I'm intrigued. Tommaso Ciampa got involved. We saw AJ Styles come back, so that'll be an interesting storyline. But yeah, man, 2 for 2 on Logan Paul's matches, but also 2 for 2 to start this show, man. This was a really enjoyable match.
Yeah, it was absolutely awesome. What'd you think of his ring gear, by the way? His theme, Logan Paul's theme song, I'm not really too crazy about. His ring gear looks pretty cool. No. His whole get up with the jacket and everything.
Yeah. I think that again, you're kind of getting to that point of where we're kind of testing the waters, seeing how he does. And obviously he's only had 2 matches, but I mean, if you're trying, I think the separator between AEW and WWE is definitely trying to be that kind of global audience and everything. Logan Paul is the kind of person that can fit that. And I mean, him and McAfee is in that vein too, but they're both showing out that, like, hey, these hardcore wrestling fans or these, celebrities or whatever, give them the right training and somebody who obviously wants to be passionate enough to be in that spot. Like, they're showing out. So I'm intrigued, man. I'm excited for it.
So we're going to get to the theory stuff later in regards to the main event. But first, let's talk about Theory versus Lashley for the U.S. title. We won't talk much long about this. Lashley wins with the Hurt Lock. It was just, I felt like the match was kind of just there in a way. 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of offense. Man, Austin Theory can do a great drop kick, let me tell you.
Yes. Austin Theory is very underrated. I mean, let's just put it out there. I know you obviously, we've been harping it for a while. Wayne, you've been talking about how he's the next basically Randy Orton of this.
I think I think if they stick with the plans, he reminds me, his track right now is kind of reminding me of Randy Orton's from 2002, 2003 a little bit.
I fully agree with you on that. I think that he's definitely kind of shown up in a way that, I don't think a lot of people expect it. I think he just constantly, every time you put him out there, you're getting a good showing with Theory.
For sure. No complaints about this match. I mean, the match was just there. Lashley retains the U.S. title. And what they do with that title next, who Lashley's next opponent is, I'm not too sure. I would think maybe like a Damian Priest or somebody from Judgment Day.
Yeah, possible. I could be down with that.
But moving on, the Judgment Day versus Mysterios. But before we talk about that, for those of you guys that are watching, feel free to join in on the conversation.
It's on the bottom.
Subscribe, like. But join the conversation. We want to have some fun. We want to hear what you guys think about the baby tonight.
Yeah.
But Judgment Day versus the Mysterios, and I was I don't know. Like, I was expecting certain things to happen, like a Mysterio turn, maybe the possibility.
I mean, hey, we've been calling it for a hot
Dominic
minute.
Mysterio's sister. We've been calling for Dominic to turn on his dad for a while.
Correct.
And I guess maybe it's safe to say that maybe they're going to have that for WrestleMania. But then again, I said that last year. I still believe it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. I don't know. But no DQ, which was weird because the first like 10 minutes of this match, the way it was presented gave us no indication that this was
It
a
was
no
just a normal match.
DQ.
It was just a
It was like
normal
a
match.
normal match until Rey
Well,
Mysterio introduced the chair.
yeah,
Then Rhea Ripley started getting involved.
even in the beginning, it kind of felt like a tornado tag. They kind of, just was kind of both
It
teams
was
were in the
quick.
ring for. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird. It was I don't know if they kind of fully knew what they were doing with this match here.
Yeah. It was a good tag match. I feel like both all competitors were working very hard there. But we see Rhea Ripley. She gets involved, and then we get the appearance of Edge in this match,
Yes,
which is no
with the
surprise
Brood
because in the
music.
beginning of the show, with the Brood entrance, which was awesome.
Oh,
Um,
perfect.
in the beginning of this pay per view, before the show even went on air, we saw that I don't know if you caught it, but the Edge vignette, he was writing in blood, "I'm coming tonight." So no surprise that Edge was going to show up at that point. But we
Yeah,
get
and they've been
Edge,
teasing
and
it for a good
he
bit.
raised some havoc. Let me tell you,
Yeah, man. I
spearing
tweeted it.
Finn, spearing Damian Priest, helping Mysterios get the win, and then you see Edge and Mysterios with a united front, Judgment Day on the outside. What did you think of all this?
Man, again, I think it's a great kind of way to set up. I really do think that they're gonna set up Clash at the Castle to kind of be the next big main pay-per-view for WWE. Coming off SummerSlam, if you have you're having a stadium show in Wales. That's perfect. But no, this match was better than what I would give it to, and that's not a knock on the talent or everything. I just kind of felt like this match wasn't anything, too crazy to go with, from the beginning. But hey, man, Edge coming out, and I tweeted this out. Every time he just shows up and has a different haircut or kind of has different theme music or whatever, he just looks so much more intense. Like, I know that sounds probably stupid, but he just has like a different vibe to him every time he comes out. And obviously, the vignettes, there were a lot of people at the very beginning who were thinking, oh, this is Bray coming back. And then obviously, the kind of throwbacks to his former opponents and Eddie and everything. Like, we kind of knew it was Edge.
I loved that with the Ray
Yeah.
mask, Cena.
Yes, dude, I think that was great. And I think that this, was I don't think you needed to reintroduce Edge. That was kind of stupid. So having him be the Brood character again is perfect. I think it was great. I thought the right team went over. Obviously, I do think we're going to see some sort of, 3-man, maybe a 6-man, maybe an 8-man tag if you want to throw in Rhea Ripley with there. Maybe get Beth Phoenix for Clash at the Castle. But hey, man, this was like it wasn't the coming off the last two matches, it wasn't the best match, but I do think that it was a good kind of continuation of just a hot streak that SummerSlam started off with.
Yeah, but I felt like as the night started moving along, I felt like we started approaching a low gradually.
Correct.
I'm not the only one. I noticed it.
This match was kind of the start to it.
All over Twitter were also mentioning that the pay-per-view started hot, but then the pay-per-view started somewhere along the middle, started coming down to a low a little bit.
Correct.
And
this
really
match was
didn't
the kind
pick
of start
up
of it.
until the main event, until certain things happened. But we'll get to that in a moment. But for those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much for hopping on. We really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. And feel free to join in on the conversation, leave some comments, give us a like, share.
And again, it's not that this match was bad. I just think that this match kind of was the start of everything kind of being like, okay, this is a little bit of a lull here. It's like you could tell that the crowd was a little out of it for this match.
Sure. The next match we had up was Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. This match went about 12 minutes. McAfee gave Corbin a low blow. So this was kind of in payback from last night because Happy Corbin gave a kick to Pat McAfee with a low blow from behind. with McAfee down on SmackDown last night in Atlanta. But tonight, roles reversed there. Behind the ref's back, we see Pat McAfee give the punt kick to Corbin. I saw that coming a mile away. As soon as I saw it, you knew it was coming.
Oh, you knew.
Okay, so Corbin, McAfee had a decent match. Almost botched that corner off the top rope.
That was tough, man.
Almost botched that. He looked green for sure. He hit his moves. He did what he had to do in the ring.
I think this was the first time that you could, and I agree.
He looked
with you
a little
that.
green tonight.
He looked a little,
quite
a little
bit
green. But granted, you also have to admit, and I will say this because again,
not to say he did bad, but
no. But I am from Indiana. You know, obviously Nashville is about a 4-hour drive from me, but
we should have went to this pay-per-view.
I know, but it's hot. It's hot here in Indiana. I don't know what it's like there for you, but you know, I know a lot of people were saying that.
Yeah, it's about like 85 to 90 here. It's more or less humid, not really too hot.
Yeah, I know that people were saying, you know, the ropes were a little slippery and everything. That's fine. This is what his 4th, 5th match, a little bit, you know, something along those lines. I'm not against this match. It wasn't his best performance. I think that the, you know, jumping up them, and again, you also have to think of it from the fact that we're just lucky that Pat's okay, because that spot where he jumped up on the top rope and they did the superplex, it could have led to a pretty bad injury from either him or Corbin. So I'm glad that they're safe. The Panama Sunrise, whatever that was at the end, kind of didn't look the best, but this match was fine. I think that, you know, if Pat had the chance to do it again, he definitely would want to do it. But here's the thing: you're putting a celebrity and a wrestler who's, you know, what has he been in WWE on the main roster since 2016? So it's a good 6 years or something like that. Being able to tie in that story where the fact that, hey, they were roommates when they were rookies with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep. I don't mind the story one bit.
I think that that's perfect. And that's those little nuances that you can kind of get. And also, hey man, if I can find somebody who loves me as much as Michael Cole loves Pat McAfee, I will fully support it. Because I think that that's one of the best things is that you can just tell, and he said it in interviews and everything, but Michael Cole is just enjoying the hell out of his life because he's getting the chance to work with Pat McAfee. He's such a breath of fresh air. I think McAfee's one of the best signings that WWE's had in the last few years, and it'll continue to pay dividends. This wasn't his best match, but if he only wrestles at the biggest shows and, you know, can set up a story that's a pretty good, you know, weeks-long, month-long feud, I'm all for it, man. I really am. And this is a good start. So, yeah, man. It wasn't the best match, but I give it a 5 or a 6 or so.
Check this out. The line of the night by Michael Cole and Graves was, check this out. So Graves was like, I liked it a lot when you weren't allowed to have an opinion. And then Michael Cole is like, well, that is just
things
changed.
Things are different. Yeah, things are different
now. That has changed. I was like, wow, the Vince McMahon reference.
You can tell that there's the little subtle
Michael
nods and
Cole
everything.
Is so happy behind the mic
and I think
not having Vince in his ear.
I think that that's great. You can kind of even tonight was it, and I'm glad you brought that up. Tonight was kind of a little different in the sense that you could tell that it didn't seem like there was one of the things that they talk about in journalism school and everything is, you know, you don't want to hear your voice coming through. You want to, you know, have your anchor, everything like come through with their own voice. And I think that not hearing Vince McMahon, you know, own voice and his little mannerisms and everything, I think that it definitely kind of put this show on a different pedestal from normal. And again, this is the first
Michael Cole was on fire tonight.
Yeah, but again, this is the first pay-per-view since everything happened. So I think that this is a major step forward for WWE.
How about Kid Rock laying the big wet one on the girl he was next to?
Hey, I love Kid Rock. I love Kid Rock.
Me, my friend Jay, and we popped. We're like, what is this? What am I looking at? No, I did not want to see that. I did not want to see that. So, yeah, it was kind of funny, but like, no, oh man, Kid Rock, oh boy. But
He's an interesting fellow,
that
that's for
that was
sure.
one of the things I could not believe that. Oh man. Anyway, um, okay. So moving on to the WWE Unified Tag Team match, the tag team title match that is. Usos defending their Raw and SmackDown titles against the Street Profits. Okay, good match. Money in the Bank, much
Money in
better,
the Bank was so much better. Oh my
much
good. I'm
better.
glad you said it. I'm glad you
This
said it.
and there was even Frank Manzo tweeted it out tonight that there was something missing, and I felt what was missing in this match was time. Like Usos and Street Profits had more time the last time they fought last month as compared to this month. It was good, but Money in the Bank, the match was so much better than we saw tonight. Like it was just something was missing. It felt so much more special last month, and maybe they should have kept it there. But
Yeah, maybe that's the fact that it was kind of a show stealer at Money in the Bank. And maybe it's also the fact that he had a special guest referee. I don't know. I didn't think that
you
Jarrett
know
kind of.
what? Like we knew that last month's match was so good, and I had high expectations. I expected this to be the match of the night.
Yeah,
I can't honestly
I'm right
say
there
this is the
with you.
match of the night. Like something was missing. Frank Manzo said it, and I'm thinking it was just time. They didn't have as much allotted time as they did last month. Um, but yeah, it was a good match. I felt like it was just there. Usos won with the 1D. Dawkins had a nice spot to the outside for his size. Man, that guy can fly.
Everybody talks about Montez Ford and how great he is, and that's fine. But hey, man, I've sung the praises of Angelo Dawkins for a hot minute. He is very good.
What other spots were there in this match that was so well? We see Montez Ford do the frog splash off the top rope, which essentially cost him the match because he was doing that RVD spot that was taking up time. So when he went to go for the pin on one of the Usos, it was a long 2 count, which maybe
Yeah,
could have been a 3, and then that was pointed out there. Then not too long after, you see the Usos win with the 1D, which is a 3D, but they call it the 1D.
the one
Whatever.
D. Yeah.
But it's a 3D. Let's just call it the
Got to
3D.
be different. Yeah,
Let's call it the 3D. But anyway, Usos win. Um, Nothing really resonated just yet as far as what people believe is going to happen with a potential split. You saw like
You saw a
Dawkins
little hint.
frustrated. You
You saw
saw
a little hint of it.
Montez Ford was like in a trance. It was weird. But it was a pretty nothing really stuck out to me that
Correct.
screamed like a potential split up. But this is like the second straight tag title match now that Street Profits are losing to Usos. So I mean, maybe if they run it back one more time, Street Profits could win, or they could go in the direction of splitting up Street Profits, which I'm not too sure if it's completely likely because Triple H is more of a fan of tag teams than Vince McMahon is. So
As
I
he
believe
should
they're
be.
going to build that tag team division up a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm especially with the stable at the beginning of the show.
You got to have at least 10 consistent tag teams going. This way you could
Yeah.
do meaningful matches, tag team tournaments, number one contenders. And that's what I call a division, not 3 tag teams in each show. That's not a division.
Correct.
But I digress. You've heard me complain about that for years. Which is why the tag titles have to be unified. Like, stop carrying around 2 sets of belts. Just unify the
Just
one
let
belt.
unify. Yep, I'm right there with you.
But anyway, I'm not going to beat that to death. It just, I enjoyed the match. Don't get it wrong. But it just, I felt like it was just there tonight.
There was more that could have been done. I definitely agree with you on that.
And then we had a Riddle. Oh, so Riddle calls out Seth Rollins. I just don't know if they really needed to do this spot. Like this, like 5 to 10 minutes of brouhaha.
Yeah.
Could have gone to the tag team title match. But anyway,
Very much so.
I don't know if you see Riddle calling out Seth Rollins, which was a surprise. I didn't think either Riddle or Seth Rollins was going to be in the building. And then Seth Rollins comes out. They're trying to hold Seth back, but he gets to the ring. Riddle approaches Seth. They're throwing punches back and forth, and then Seth Rollins manages to pull off a curb stomp on Riddle, leaves him lying. Seth goes off, and so that's I would expect we're probably going to see Seth versus Riddle at Clash of the Castle,
especially
right?
with
You think?
correct?
I
Yeah,
think they
especially
do
with
it
the kind of cancellation of this match. I fully agree.
Yeah, I think you got to do it at Clash of the Castle. Give it a couple of weeks, and you can play into the storyline that Riddle's out for a little bit to heal up and be at Clash of the Castle. I think that would make a little sense.
It fits. It fits well. Yep.
Yeah. Now we are slowly getting to the good stuff here because like the past 2-3 matches of the pay-per-view, it's kind of like we're kind of like in the valley of the pay-per-view, the low point. Now, like from this match on,
Excuse me.
it starts picking up.
Yeah.
So we have Liv Morgan defending the WWE SmackDown title, women's title against Ronda Rousey. And I was kind of curious how they were going to do this. Like, I was thinking that maybe we're going to see shenanigans. Maybe like Natty come out, somebody from the SmackDown roster.
Thank God she didn't. Thank God she didn't.
Because she's been poking her business into, Ronda and Liv with their feud for like the past couple weeks now, and it's quite honestly getting it. It was getting annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if we were going to see Natty show up, maybe distract Ronda or distract the two of them, and then Liv get. But anyway, but so basically they're telling you the story that with Liv showing resiliency. Ronda's putting on that arm bar, and there were a couple times where the match I thought was going to end. I thought Ronda Rousey, especially after the third time that Ronda Rousey put the arm bar on Liv Morgan.
Yeah. I fully agree.
I thought I was like, oh no, like they cannot take the title off of Liv Morgan this soon. They cannot take the title off of Liv Morgan at any time this year, probably not till like at least some closer to like WrestleMania or something. If you want to build a big match or something,
yeah.
But it would have been way too soon. It would have been barely 4 weeks that she held the belt. Yeah, so that's the story they're telling. Liv is showing her resiliency. The fans are getting behind her. Liv made the ropes 3 times. But on the third or the fourth attempt, you see Ronda put the arm bar on Liv Morgan again. And at this point, Liv Morgan was in a standing position and pinned Ronda in that position. Correct. With Ronda's back was on the ground with the arm bar. So the ref doesn't see. All the ref sees is Ronda's shoulders pinned. 1, 2, 3. That's fine. But at the same time, with the ref's head being down, doesn't see Liv Morgan tapping out right around the point where the ref is hitting the mat for the second time before the 3 counts took place. So that was pretty interesting. I popped. Yeah. I'm like, wow! Like, I could not believe that Liv Morgan got that clean. First of all,
do you think that there's more to this story? There's going to be a future to
this. So yeah, there definitely is. I mean, they left it wide open. After the match, you see Liv Morgan get the win. She's kind of like in shock or whatever, but she gets the win. And then Ronda with the heel turn.
Yeah, I'm interested in it.
Yeah, Ronda with the heel turn tonight, and then puts the armbar on Liv Morgan again, and complaining to the ref, and it just went all out heel on Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a return match here, for sure.
Is that Clash? Do you see the Clash of the Castle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only what? It's only what, like 3 weeks away.
5 weeks. Yeah. 5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks. Yeah, no, I don't think they do it on the SmackDown. I think it's Clash of the Castle. I think a lot of things being done at SummerSlam tonight is built to Clash of the Castle. Of course,
yeah, I can agree.
Of course, there's some closure on a couple feuds, which we'll talk about. we're gonna see. Like I said, we talked about Becky versus Belair, Becky Lynch versus Belair tonight, and we're gonna see the forward progression of Becky and Belair versus Bailey's new stable. So that's gonna happen. Um, Logan versus Paul versus Miz. I believe you should be done with that.
Correct.
Otherwise, but I wouldn't be surprised if they. I don't know. Like Vince McMahon era, they'll probably try to run that back. But
Yeah,
under
really.
Triple H, I'm not too sure if they run
I think that
Paul
there's
and Miz again.
yeah, I think we might see something different coming out of that.
Theory, Bobby Lashley, that feud is over. We're gonna see something new with Lashley for sure.
Yep.
Judgment Day Mysterios, like we talked about earlier. We're gonna see, the probably 3-on-3, probably at the Clash. Pat McAfee versus Corbin, I believe that's done. That should be done. Um, and then Street Profits, I'm not too sure what's going to happen with that just yet. But
Yep.
again, that's what I was saying. Liv Morgan Ronda, there's definitely forward progression here. The way that they ended this tonight, it's still they with Ronda pretty much turning heel,
Yeah,
opens up
there's a lot of
more
room here. Yep.
options for sure. Um, I'm expecting Liv versus Ronda rematch, but under different circumstance here. Ronda would be heel, and maybe they do a submission only. Maybe they do
I'd be fine
a
with
cut.
that. I would
They do.
be really
I
fine
don't
with
know.
that.
I don't know what they do. But or maybe they do um, a referee in the inside and a referee
Okay.
in the outside to kind of, they could do something like that. We haven't seen that in a while. That was kind of
Yeah.
like what did they call the term for that? Chuck Norris Survivor Series 94. Oh, the special enforcer
Special
referee.
enforcer. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
When was the last time there was a special enforcer referee? So
Gosh,
I would be
that's a good
surprised.
point.
And you guys have heard it first from here. I don't think anybody else is calling for it, but they're gonna have another one-on-one match, title on the line, but this time an extra referee. I'm willing to bet that they're gonna do that, but if they don't, they should do that because it makes sense. This
Correct.
way you have a second set of eyes to see if Liv Morgan taps again or whatever kind of shenanigans they come up with. They're just trying to. They just came up with a good way to protect Liv Morgan tonight. Honestly, the best way to protect Liv Morgan is keep Ronda the heck away from the title picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Because
for sure.
let's be real. Let's be real. Ronda could beat everybody like that in real life,
In
no
a
doubt
straight
about
shoot.
it. Maybe
Yes,
like
for sure.
Sonya Deville could probably take it to her in a real martial arts fight. Yeah,
But in a shoot, yeah, Ronda's
yeah.
winning.
In a real fight, Ronda's winning, and WWE knows that, so they got to be very creative. But the best way to be creative with this is keep Ronda away for the title picture.
Yeah, I
Gosh
fully agree.
sakes, that's the best way to do it because now you're booking yourself. But whatever, I digress. Now we got to talk about the main event.
Oh man. Oh, thank
Roman
gosh.
Reigns defended against Brock Lesnar. Before we do, thank you guys so much for hanging with us tonight and watching. We really appreciate it. We have episode 96 coming at the end of this week. We are 4 episodes away from
From number
episode
100.
100. We're trying to get a guest. I have no clue who it's going to be yet. We would love to get RVD. There's been $1 Million Man. There's been a couple names thrown out there. We're not too sure yet what's happening. We are cutting it close, but if we know something, you guys will be the first to know. So just make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, YouTube as well. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, which we haven't used much, but we'll see. But yeah, Facebook, our Facebook group, WWE, the AEW fans, you can follow us there. A bunch of ways you can follow us. And our podcasts are also on Spotify and iTunes, Apple iTunes. That is an iHeart Radio. Can't forget about iHeart.
Yeah, you gotta love iHeartRadio.
All right, so this is where I mean it was starting, with the Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey with the way that finished. but the show really got turned up rather quickly with the main event starting tonight.
Yeah, this match was it was big, man. It was really big. I didn't think that the main event would kind of be the. I don't know, man. It's tough. Going off the.
This was a beautiful car crash.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting 7 years for one of these best matches between these two.
Lesnar coming to the ring with the tractor tonight. I'm like, oh no, they might make Lesnar win here. Because whenever they do some kind of special entrance, that usually waves a red flag for me that that person may win. But I was wrong. I mean, we pretty much had Reigns winning this. We predicted it last night. But Roman Reigns and Lesnar, that was a car crash, and there were some spots in there. They were going at it. They went a little bit into the crowd, and then came back in. I like the spot with Lesnar picking up Reigns and with the trowel of that tractor, and then dumping him in the ring. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that tractor was going to be used as part of the pinfall. I'm like, oh no.
I was thinking Mankind,
like
Rock.
the way that Lesnar positioned that trowel, if we want to call it that, low to the floor, like it left like about 2 feet to the floor. I was thinking that maybe he was getting ready to wrap up the match in a few minutes and stuff Roman Reigns under there and then lower it down and call that the night.
Yeah. Trying to get some light in here. I'm in my car right now. But no, man, I definitely I fully agree with you. I think that this match was I mean, we've been waiting 7 years for a good Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match, and I think that this finally was the one that everybody was kind of looking for.
But now this is where it picks up. This is absolutely where it picks up. Brock Lesnar taking the tractor trowel and using it, pushing the ring as if it was like a snowplow, pushing snow. Lesnar taking the trowel, pushing the ring, then taking that trowel and lifting up the ring to a 45-degree angle, I believe it was. The ring wasn't like this anymore. The ring was tilted like this. And you see Roman Reigns just tumbling down and rolling down onto the floor. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Man, I'll tell you, I popped so hard.
I've never seen anything like that before. We've seen some crazy stuff with the rings exploding and collapsing because of body slams. But the ring went from flat to all the way like this. I could not believe what I was seeing. And then, of course, the trowel was kind of holding it up.
Yeah, it honestly gave me a little bit of
oh my gosh.
I think it might have been Night of Champions 2011 vibes with Alberto Del Rio, the way that him and Cena, the match was a last man standing, and the fact that the ring was kind of manipulated in a way that happened. But yeah, man, this was completely different, and I'm glad that you said you popped, because I popped too, dude. This was
the whole wrestling world popped. The crowd popped. I'm taking pictures of my TV screen. The cameras galore in the crowd.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
And ringside was a mess at this point.
I will go off of this. And maybe it was because I was so excited. I'm such a fan of this past year's WrestleMania. And the Brock Roman match really kind of was the kind of stopgap of everything. It just kind of made everything kind of feel like not as good. This match was what I was waiting for. It needed to be a car crash. It needed to be just absolutely brutal. And they did it. It's perfect too, because I think a lot of people thought that, TV 14, it's going to be, we're going to see a lot of blood and everything. No blood. There was obviously the blood with the table.
Back was bleeding a little bit, but but nothing on the head.
Nothing crazy, and I think that that's great. I think that they did a really good job of kind of selling that car crash vibe
Yeah.
without being, like immediately like GCW type or AEW, instantly John Moxley's bleeding within 5 minutes kind of thing. And it's not a knock towards them, but I think WWE did a finally, like for once, and I hope this is the end. They finally got a Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match that was thoroughly enjoyable. I think this match told a really good story and was really well done.
Well, I mean, I can't say that I've never enjoyed any of the matches. I think their last match at WrestleMania kind of fell a little flat because all I was watching
It
was
just ended
Superman
so
punch, F5, Superman punch,
Correct.
F5. So it was nothing creative, but with tonight being in the last man standing, it just allowed more options to be very creative.
Yeah.
And
oh my god.
man,
And that ring
I
spot.
love the ring, and the ringside was trashed.
Yes.
I
And
was
that's the thing
enjoying
is,
that. I was at the edge of my seat because we knew what was about to come.
Correct. And I'm sure that part of the ring was, obviously probably pretty diluted for fans to be able to actually see. But again, there are those moments in wrestling when that happens. And we've seen the ring move, we've seen the ring buckle, we've seen all that stuff, especially in Brock Lesnar matches. But to kind of see it where it was halfway lifted, it was a different spot, and it was really well done. I appreciate the nuance of everything, but also just the fact that it was such a fresh spot. I feel like you kind of go to that well of, we're going to break the ring, we're going to, do something crazy. This was something crazy that hadn't been seen before, and I really enjoyed it. And it played really well into Brock's character. He's been being the country Brock Lesnar and everything, and I thought that this match and that, obviously, that aspect of it really played well into it.
This spot is going to be talked about for a long time. Like,
Correct.
I'm
Very long
probably going to
time.
go back to. I'm probably going to go back to watching this.
Yeah.
This spot for sure.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of back and forth. We see the Usos come out not too long after that to attack Brock, and we see a bunch of spears from Roman Reigns. Then there was Lesnar 2 or 3 times got up at 9.5, almost losing the match.
Oh man, you had me jumping. Jumping going.
Then we saw Austin Theory's music hit. He is coming out with a big smile on his face, and the first person he tackles is Roman Reigns with that briefcase. Yeah. Lesnar gets a hold of him. He's like, "Not tonight, man." Puts him in the F5 right on top of that briefcase. Now, but that distraction, and then at that point, Theory was out for the night.
Correct.
But it was a nice little tease for sure. But that distraction led to Roman Reigns taking control. 2 or 3 spears. Lesnar refuses to stay down. It took a couple title shots to the head to finally keep Lesnar down. Then you see Usos take every single piece of furniture that they could find.
Gosh,
and
great!
Put on top of Lesnar, and then
Lesnar,
and Roman Reigns goes to the top. And while this happened, like, the ref is still counting.
Yeah,
but like,
really.
I always kind of thought like the wrestler was supposed to get away and then let the ref count.
Then wait, yeah.
But while the ref is counting, you just see them throwing furniture, and then the ref's just counting, and then it's pretty funny. Like, they kept on using the rhetoric. The bloodline buries Brock Lesnar like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, no, it was great. I liked it. I like that kind of spot of burying it. We saw with Big Show in the John Cena, CM Punk, Big Show triple threat match. I think they did that one time, but no, man, I'm a big fan of that. I think it worked well. Like you said, the counting was a little weird because when they kind of did a full frame picture of everything, you see the ref, in the background, then you see Roman on top, and it's 10. It's immediately 10. So if you weren't paying attention, you're a little caught off guard. But
yeah,
perfect. Last man standing matches are tough because we've seen so much. Perfect ending. I think this was perfect. You slay the beast kind of thing. Obviously Brock Lesnar is a legend. Also, hey, shout out to Paul Heyman taking an F5 through the table. I loved
Oh yes.
it. I popped so hard for that.
Did you
Dude.
see? Because obviously this way Lesnar wins. I'm sorry, Roman Reigns wins. He retains the title.
Yeah.
But did you see Paul Heyman's face as Usos are
Yes,
trying
I
to hold him
did.
up in the background? Oh my
Paul Heyman's
gosh!
Hey, you got to know that he's going into the Hall of Fame next year at Philadelphia with WrestleMania being there.
It could be. I would expect maybe some ECW talent for sure.
Yeah. I mean, hey, this is the closest it's been. I honestly think this is the closest it's been to me since like WrestleMania 23, which is saying something because we're at WrestleMania 40. But obviously, everything's been the stadium show. But yeah, closest to Indiana, I think, is 23 being in Detroit.
I'm not too sure what's happening yet, but LA was being talked about tonight.
Yes. Tickets go on sale 12th, I think they said.
August 12th, yeah. So that's happening, and so we got that going on, and and WrestleMania 40 in Philly, I'm definitely going to be there for sure.
Yeah, but
so this is a very, very good. This is a very good show. Now I have a question for you.
Hit me with it.
Is Brock gone for a while?
Yes, but I don't think as long as normal. I think we could see him at Survivor Series.
Okay.
I think that him and Triple H will try to make something, and I think that again, I forget who tweeted it, but I don't think you'll see full changes with WWE for the first 30 or so days.
Yeah.
I think this was kind of the start. Maybe Clash of the Castles, maybe where we see that big difference with, again, hey, man, I've been predicting it since February. I know it was announced, but now we're getting Drew McIntyre versus Roman. It's the perfect thing. Drew's taking it, but
again,
Drew, I know you don't.
You know, we talked about this. Drew McIntyre should not, and that was my next question. Where do we go from here?
Where do you think we go from
I
here?
don't think Drew should be the guy. I don't think Drew should be the guy to take it. You got to build somebody new.
That's fair, and I think obviously if there was one person, it'd be Gunther or Gunther. But
yeah, it would have made perfect sense to have Gunther be the guy to do it.
Yeah,
it would have been somebody new. It would have been fresh.
But I'm okay with Drew.
But now we're getting rematch, and I'm not too sure if Drew's over like that. I mean,
I will. Hey, man, I got Colton. He got or Holt, Holt, whatever his name was. He got him a nice little pop from the crowd. No, dude, I've been predicting it, so I'll stick with my prediction. But I think that's kind of the way. But if we look at it from an outsider's or from a futuristic standpoint, I just feel like
at that point it'll be 2 years.
Correct.
It'll be 2 full years.
Correct. So I think Survivor Series is the first pay-per-view we start to see big changes. Honestly, maybe we even see NXT get back into it, which would be great. I'd love to see an NXT Raw SmackDown. Me and you have talked about it, especially in the last 2 years with Survivor Series. We get it. You're red versus blue, but nobody cares. You're WWE. Having that NXT vibe on it, I think that's perfect. I think we saw with Keith Lee.
Listen, however they do it, I just want to see meaningful matches.
Correct.
Just have 1 or 2 traditional matches. They're already starting to build stables.
Yeah.
But have 1 or 2 traditional matches. Get the titles on the line. Get the tag titles on the line. Get the US, get the IC title on the line. Get some important matches on there. And then I'm happy. Maybe do the cash in.
Did you say stables?
This is stables.
I like stables.
I know you do. Have fun. Have fun with AEW. The stables galore. Oh, speaking of which, now they're making use of their stables. AEW
Trios
just announced the Trios titles, which we'll get to. I did not even touch. I barely even touched AEW programming because I wanted to really focus in on all the WWE news that was going on this week, and then also I wanted to focus in on this weekend with our prediction show last night. We got some predictions right, and then the post show tonight. But now we can kind of, and then we're gonna have the fallout. So episode 96 we'll talk about the fallout.
Yeah.
For Monday Night Raw. I'm excited. So that we'll start we'll be able to start segueing back into more AEW talk. But yeah, that was what was announced with the trio title. So that's about time. I'm just
Very much
wondering
about
why
time.
now, and I think that's probably because Kenny Omega is coming back, and I think
I
trios.
yes, I'm glad you said that. Fully expected, but also fully expect FTR and CM Punk versus the Elite, Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I'm looking forward to that match. Maybe that's something that we see down the line at Double or Nothing.
Speaking of FTR, man, if you guys have not watched FTR versus the Briscoes in that pay per
Okay,
view
okay. So
last week,
you watched Death Before Dishonor.
I did.
Okay, so I'll add on to that. If you didn't watch Death Before Dishonor, one, you gotta watch it. The pay per view was phenomenal for what it was. Two, go back and watch FTR versus the Briscoes at Supercard of Honor from earlier in the year.
Yes,
Watch that
was
match and
great.
then watch Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. Phenomenal. FTR is, we joke about it, they're on the run of their lives. If it wasn't for Dax Harwood, and that's not against Cash, but man, Dax is really making a really strong claim for Wrestler of the Year. He is phenomenal.
They're both great. They are
And
both
also,
great.
speaking in the wrestling world, I know you saw Double J Jeff Jarrett. I know you know it's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, was that Double J and what's his tag partner?
Jay Lethal.
And Jay Lethal, Double J and Jay Lethal versus Andrade and his father-in-law Ric Flair.
We're going to see the death of a professional wrestling legend.
Oh my goodness gracious! Ric Flair should not be doing this. I don't know what he's thinking. I know he needs a payday.
I
But
spent
still,
hey, you know what?
he
If he
should
needs
not be doing
payday,
this.
that's great because he got my $40.
Andrade is gonna carry the most of that match. You'll see Ric
Correct.
Flair do a couple one or two bumps and some chops.
I'm intrigued though. I
You
think
ordered
it'll be
it?
fun.
Did you
I did
order it?
order it.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I don't know if I'm gonna touch it, but we'll
I
see.
got the Starcast bundle, so I got the roast of Ric Flair and like all the podcasts and that match, and
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay.
The rest of the card will be pretty good, but I
Oh.
mean, it's Ric Flair in his final match. How could you not watch that?
So, Tommy, where do we go from here with all this, everything that we talked about tonight? I mean, you already harped on the fact that Drew McIntyre, and we're gonna see Drew and Roman Reigns at Clash of Castle for the title.
Yeah.
Do we see a cash in there?
So that was my only question. Theory's cash-in wasn't official, right?
No.
Okay.
No, the referee never, never like rang the bell or made the announcement.
I think because it's tough to set. Not that it would be tough. I think
If he cashed in on Drew in Drew's own country and beat Drew,
that the heel would be crazy.
Heat that he would get in London, and
correct.
that would carry over and when they get back to the US.
Yeah,
but that heat would be unbelievable.
I think that they do it earlier. I think that he gets. I think with 5 weeks to build, not that that's tough to do with Roman and Drew. I just think that you could do, have that like kind of in the middle, have Austin challenge, announce that he's going to, use his belt or whatever, or use his Money in the Bank contract. And then I think that's what we see. I still think Drew's winning. And I think he wins clean. And I think that he gets that British Bulldog moment.
I don't know. I'm really not a fan of it. Like I said, I mean, Roman's title loss, pending title loss, rather, because he hasn't lost that, obviously. He's held that title for 2 years. That moment that Roman Reigns loses the title needs to be saved for something special, for someone special. I just don't think Drew was that guy.
It'll be intriguing
unless
to see.
WWE really wants to push Drew to the moon and making the guy. They better stand behind him now.
Yeah, it'll be intriguing to see.
It's gonna be very interesting. But anyhow, those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. Make sure help us out. Subscribe if you haven't. Give us a like. the website, our new website, www.aftermathwrestlingpod.com. You can check our latest blogs. We try to get you the latest articles on our thoughts of what's going on. Our Pro Wrestling Tees shop is there. We have the black, the gold, the navy blue Aftermath logo t-shirts on ProWrestlingTees.com. So definitely help us out. Get yourself a shirt. They look freaking
They look
awesome.
cool,
I would
dude.
show
They
you
look
right
cool.
now. Hold on. Those of you guys that watch, stay with me. It's right like 2 feet. Hold on.
Wayne's going to get a little surprise.
All
Here it
right.
is. He's right back. Well, really,
I
was 2
told you.
seconds.
I told you it'd be 2 seconds. Thank you guys.
Boom.
So, the black
Hey,
Aftermath t-shirt.
Shout out to my man, my dad.
His
Scott.
dad, yes,
putting that logo. We love it. We love putting it to use with all the new shirts.
I had an idea tonight. We're gonna do a new NWO style APW logo for a t-shirt concept. Not ready to change our logo now because we just changed our logo not even 6 months ago, and I love our logo.
That's funny though, because I actually a few days ago I got the I don't know if you use Snapchat, but you have the like 1 year anniversary pictures or whatever.
Yeah.
It was 1 year ago this week that the first initial concept for this new logo was drawn down. I'll have to send that to you. But yeah, man, it's crazy how different things have been in the last year, man.
A lot has changed. I mean, we got a Pro Wrestling Tees shop. We have an online. We're more present on Twitter. Our following, thanks to you guys, has tripled in the last couple months. Yeah, it's right down there.
I'm very bad. It's hard to do this when you're looking in the camera yourself.
All our social media followings are there. Our audience, our subscribers have tripled in a couple months, so we're growing thanks to you guys. I mean, we'll do this for one person. We'll do this for 20 people that are watching. We don't care. Like, we just have fun. But you guys are really what's making it happen. So we thank you guys for watching tonight.
The perfect summary of everything. It's not about the viewers. Obviously, we'd love to be the next, great wrestling podcast and everything. We're working towards that, but man, we're getting to talk about wrestling. Like it's both of our passions, and I love that. So it's just the fact that we get to sit here and be fans of what was some really good wrestling tonight, and what I expect to be really good wrestling for the rest of the year, and just enjoy it and talk about it.
I certainly don't think it's going to be a boring fall season. We got Grand Slam coming up. We got Grand Slam, AEW Grand Slam coming up in Arthur Ashe Stadium, which is about 40 minutes away from. We got that coming up. They'll be all out next month. It's like 2-3 weeks after that, and then we're gonna have a better written fall season with Triple H at the helm of things.
Correct.
So I think that the fall seasons are normally the down. And until you get to
this year might be different, man.
I think this year is going to be different. Last year was good too because we had AEW. So if WWE sucked, you just turn on CBS or TNT, and then you're good. So the last year's fall season, the year before that, was pretty good. But in terms of WWE, I think we'll get the best fall season we've seen in a long time.
Long time. Yes.
Cannot wait. It's going to be exciting. I'm just looking forward to talking about it with each and every single one of you guys. Next week, episode 96, probably around Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, let's shoot for Friday night. Let's just do Friday night. I'm down for it.
So let's do that. We'll shoot for Friday night. Episode 96 will be 4 episodes away from episode 100. We are so excited.
Goodness.
I cannot wait. We're hoping to get a special guest for that. We will see what we can do. We'll have a special guest down the line. But we really want to do it for episode 100. So that's what we're hoping for. So guys, cross your fingers for us. Either that, we're going to be there regardless and have an awesome show when that time comes. But episode 96 will be next. Well, Tommy's saying Friday night. I'm good for Friday night.
We're doing Friday. I'm calling it. We're putting the foot down.
So be sure to follow us on Twitter and on our website that we just flashed on the screen before for everything in between. And we just thank you guys so much for hopping on. Man, WWE SummerSlam 2022 is in the books. I cannot believe it. This year is moving fast. We're going to be in August, starting Monday.
Yeah.
And the ball is rolling in the wrestling
world. It's rolling for a great
end of the year for wrestling, man. The next couple of weeks. Those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. And you guys all have an awesome night. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and retweet, and do whatever you
Make
got to
sure
do
to
to
subscribe, baby.
YouTube out there, and make sure you guys subscribe. And we hope to hear from you guys and see you guys soon.
Agility from the champion. Oh, G6! That could be it.